Right, it's time for the paper review now, and let's get to know what the papers are saying and which of the stories are jostling for your attention this morning. We have joining us TVC News senior researcher Cyril Abak, joining us right now. Cyril, good morning.
Mike, thank you very much.
Nice
good morning. And
welcome
I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah.
All right, let's kickstart with the Daily Sun. The big story here is Lagos Governor's Advisory Council declares big declaration. Maybe not as big as but they must test his popularity at primary, tells Sanwo-Olu to also contest. The other stories here, Saraki Atiku Tamboa face PDP screening panel. Party to drop aspirants with alleged graft cases heads to court over Adeleke. And PDP grandstanding over Oshun. Lai Mohammed. Convention venue, aspirants opposed to Rivers against Niger Delta, Wike. Buhari orders payment of 22.68 billion naira to ex-Nigeria airway workers.
Well, one would say that is a welcome development. Cyril, what do you think?
Of course, it's a welcome development. Better late than never. Particularly the one of the defunct airways. They've cried themselves hoarse. Nobody seems to be listening.
We've had the union leaders here sometime, and they said the new Nigeria Air cannot.
I remember, yes.
I remember, and I underlined cannot. That's what they said. Cannot take off if the arrears of their allowances and pensions and all of that are not paid.
But it's one thing for the money to be approved, let us say released, and another thing for them to actually be able to smile to the banks.
How do you mean?
You know, it's one thing for us to say we are releasing that tranche of money. It's a huge sum. Maybe to come in tranches. So the fact is that, so releasing that money in principle is one thing. But the workers actually getting, we've had times when government would be said to have released money for projects and so on, and they don't get delivered. So along the pipeline, it gets stuck. But it would be nice if this money is released to them, and they can
let
actually
them get the alerts in their
yes, alerts in their phone, and let them come back and also say that glory be to God, it has happened.
Let them give testimony.
Yes.
So the Lagos Governor's Advisory Council is saying that Governor Ambode must test his popularity at primary. There are some who would say that direct primary no doubt contributes to deepening democracy, especially at the times we're in now.
No, you know, the shadow polls are beautiful. Because for those, both within and without, who have looked at Lagos and said, in spite of the success story, you will practice what in Yoruba parlance they call Baba Sokbe. You know, that is the godfather, the imposition, really. But with what we're having now, it puts pay to all those speculations and make sure that you see, the people now will be the ones who directly, if before there was any inkling or any iota of suspicion that somebody was that somebody was behind you know, the whole process. Now, party members have the right to choose. So I believe, yes, it strengthens the process. How? By deepening internal democracy, by giving power to the people themselves, and then the members, you know, can feel that they also are part of the process and that they own the process. So I think it's fine.
One more story on the daily.
With three contenders in the race, one is incumbent. You know, Mike, there's this thing, a power of incumbency. If direct primaries will even help us to reduce that power of incumbency, I mean, the people, it begins with the people, it ends with them. I think that's really the definition and beauty of democracy, of the people, by the people, and for the people themselves.
When they say the people own the power, and they say power to
the people,
that's where the power is. That's what the power is all about.
Yes.
Well, it's just that we're hoping that it works fine in Lagos, because there are people who would say that direct primary was tried in Osun State. It doesn't appear to have favored the party, considering the outcome of the election. But let's check other stories. IPOB accuses Ohaneze of betraying Igbo. And that's on pages 4 and 5 of Daily Sun.
All right, let's move to the Punch newspaper now. That's our next newspaper. Okay, I'm just getting reports from Osun that one of our reporters, our correspondent in Osun, say Rashid is standing by there to review one of the papers and get us updates from there. Let's go there before we continue this. Rashid, good morning. It's good to have you join us from Osun and being part of the paper review. What do you have there?
A very good morning to you over there, and good morning, Nigeria. And as you know, Osun State is now the delight of news readers and news makers. And since the election was declared inconclusive by the Independent National Electoral Commission on Sunday, so many things have been happening around here. And just as you said, the papers are full this morning and are rich with news as touching Osun State. One of those which we are having here is from Tribune, and that is about the PDP, the People's Democratic Party, heading to court. And from that, you see Osun PDP heads for court. If you could recall, the chairman of the People's Democratic Party on Sunday, when we took him, said they have some legal issues which they need to grind with the Independent National Electoral Commission, and that is actually coming to fruition today. That is on the legal perspective, and now the national leadership of the People's Democratic Party is now going to court to challenge these issues. But beyond that, you know, the September 27 is a day to reckon with in the lives of the people of Osun State. And here we have the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, and the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Senator Iyola Omishore. Senate President Bukola Saraki was in Osun State yesterday to actually canvass and garner support for the People's Democratic Party. And as it stands now, it is more of, striking deal, especially with Iyola Omishore. The PDP delegation met with Iyola Omishore yesterday, and the response from Omishore was that, well, the interest of the people of Osun State is paramount to him, and he is going to only accede to the request of any of the party between the PDP and the APC which is ready to, you know, dance to the tune of the people of Osun State. And where we are today is Orita Agbaemu, the opinion molding point for the people of Oshogbo, the oldest one for that matter. And you know, you always have arrays of opinions and views in places like this. I have someone with me here who is going to feel the pulse here. His name is Adeniton Akinola. And sir, there are news coming out from Osun State. One is that of the PDP heading to court. We have the PDP delegation also coming to meet Iyola Omishore. We have the arrest of Fatai Dekola, as much as there are debates on the circumstances leading to that arrest. We have the rumored rift between the APC candidate Boyega Oyetola and Governor Rauf Aregbesola. We also have the reaction of the APC on the arrest of Fatai Dekola. Even the CRPP, the Conference of Registered Political Parties, saying INEC should revert what it said earlier by declaring the election inconclusive. What are your thoughts about all this coming up at this point in time?
Well, all of these issues are coming together. Of course, they are expected because struggle for power is indeed a very complicated phenomenon. Because in new organization, what I think the most important thing that human being, all of us, power. If a power determines economy, it is the major thing. So that's why you expect such intense emotion at this moment and some of those things that are happening now. Now, if you are looking at the issue one after the other, for instance, let's look at the position of the CNPP saying that INEC should revert.
It's not CNPP. It's like they are divided. We have the CRPP now, okay, the Conference of Registered Political Parties.
Okay, fine. No, I mean that is saying that INEC should revert its position. Of course, in a democracy, any group of persons, any individual can make an opinion. It is the right of people to say it, but of course they know what to do. You cannot compel INEC to revert its decision. INEC already has said, look, we have declared this election inconclusive. Now, if you are not satisfied with that, what you should do is to approach the court, which can now compel INEC to either reverse that decision or to go ahead with that decision. But the CRPP or whichever is saying that cannot compel INEC to reverse its decision. And if you also talk about the arrest of one of the members or chieftains of the PDP, well, nobody will arrest anybody without a substance. And like I have said, every Nigerian has a right to also approach a court to say, do this is what I've done or not. The man has been arrested. Fine, he's in a safe custody if he has been so arrested, I'm not aware. But if he has anything wrong,
the PDP actually confirmed that he was arrested.
But the police has not confirmed that. That's in their
they
custody.
were even seeking for his unconditional release.
Oh, but the police has not confirmed that he is in their custody, because you should know that he is truly arrested. The PDP or the APC are parties, and politicians can say anything. Anybody looking for something will look for a defense. But the police is the only neutral person here that will say, look, truly, this is in our custody. The police is not a kidnapping gang. It's a constitutional institution that has the right to arrest Nigerians and prosecute them. So if he has arrested anybody, the police will come to open to say, look, I have arrested this man and the man is in our custody. So if truly the man is in police custody, the police should come to us. And if the police are in their custody, they have a right within 24 hours to charge the man to court. Otherwise, let him go to his house. And if the man is charged to court for any criminal offense, he has a right to also defend himself. And at the end of the day, if the court find him not culpable of any of the offenses, then he's discharged, and the man can even come back to say, look, for a unlawful arrest and prosecution, I am going to seek certain damages. So he has the right to do that. There is no need to lose sleep over some of these things. Then if you also, okay, let's look at the visit of...
we are quite running out of time. That is it. We are feeling the pulse of the people of Osun State on the issues happening as touching the election in Osun State. Over to you in Lagos.
Rashid, it's really good to know what's going on there, and certainly until Thursday, we know that there's going to be a buzz on the streets in Osun, certainly on how things will play out. Thank you, Rashid, for the updates there. So let's continue with the paper review now. We're moving to the Punch newspaper, which is the next one. Osun governorship rerun. Anti-Buhari coalition accuses INEC of releasing PVCs to government officials. Okay, this is a perspective. Present concrete proofs. Commission tells CUPP will challenge electoral body's decision in court. So PDP is heading to the court right
I'm
now.
also looking forward to a clearer definition from the judiciary as regards all of it. It's as simple as this is not the first time the situation is happening.
Exactly.
But if political parties still differ to the position of INEC, then perhaps the court is the right place to go.
Of course it is. And I think that in the interest of democracy and in the interest of national development, societies develop based on experience. One of the major planks of development is experience. When you have experience, okay, some would like it, some wouldn't like it. It behoves the players within that context or environment to seek interpretation to that experience, which is what the court should do. Now, we've had times in this country where a court will make a ruling and say that this ruling is exceptional. It should not be. It shouldn't become precedent. Because every interpretation should become precedent. We had a case in Edo, we had a case in Kogi, we had a case in Bauchi, we've had cases in different states. INEC cannot arrogate to itself, okay? But whenever we run into a blind side or a blind spot, INEC is left as the man in the center to give interpretation. It's like in football, when one referee can give one offense and another referee will overlook it. But the fact is that don't we have statute books that should tell us what exactly should happen? And if anybody thinks that the book is being flouted, to lodge an appeal. So whatever the outcome is from the courts, I will still expect that the National Assembly will sit down and continue to work on the electoral amendment based on these experiences that that have happened from Osun.
Siri, there doesn't appear to be any blind spot here, according to electoral guidelines. I mean, it's as clear as if the margin between the top two contenders is lesser than the total number of registered voters in areas where votes were cancelled, then you cannot return a winner in that election.
Well, as far as the electoral guidelines are concerned, they are clear. And you know that the Constitution is supreme. And any issue, any law based on the principles of delegated legislation, that a law is made as far as it's not inconsistent with the Constitution. That's right. It stands. Now, INEC is not even, there is no inconsistency in this regard from the explanations they have given. So, in giving a declaration even to the Faliki against the INEC, you remember that the Supreme Court and all the other courts were even saying that you cannot always cite the Constitution in isolation of those principles. That's right. Because they are also part of the offshoot of the Constitution.
Offshoot of the Constitution itself.
Well, Of course, but I frankly, I don't know if we have all the
But
time to look
it is
into
good
this.
to always go back to court. Let's move on so that again that is where the ultimate interpretation
We don't have
will
all the
come.
time to look
And
into
they
this,
will
Mike.
put-
Otherwise, I mean, like we can go on and explain these things
Yeah.
again and again.
Oil prices hits $81, highest since 2014. This should be some kind of a happy story for Nigerians, I guess.
Right now, I think that the NUC should shoot up the minimum wage a bit.
Except that I don't
NLC.
even understand what editorial policy will make.
I mean, NLC,
somebody put that story in that very tight corner. I think it's something that the Nigerians should cheer about. And then, like you rightly said, minimum wage. But again, funding of projects and so on. Let's know what we're making now and how that can help to, particularly at a time when we are looking for credit everywhere, all over the world, and where our debt profile, both locally and internationally,
But
is
the
rising.
question
How can this cushion
Yeah.
the effect of that?
The question Nigerians are asking is generally is, we buy crude oil or we buy refined oil like any other country in the world. So what difference does it really make?
No, the revenues we're making. We make revenue. Whether you are selling crude or you're selling refined, at least we're making revenue. Even if for the sake of it, we say that, okay, a certain percentage of what we make from crude oil sales should now go into revamping the refineries. If that's all we want to do, let's say 10-20%, it's fine. But that we are making higher revenues from oil and that it don't have any impact on the economy is far-fetched.
All right.
All right, this day is next. Osun election. PDP rallies opposition parties against APC. Saraki meets Omishere, seeks support. Economy suffers as politics takes center stage. That's on page 8. This is quite sad. The fact that it appears we just penned, governance, especially when it is election year. For instance, lawmakers are supposed to go about still doing the lawmaking business. But the reason for the extension of resumption is primary election.
Yeah, but the point
Not
is,
as if any-
the National Assembly is a nest of politics.
Okay.
Someone would say that. So there won't be National Assembly if there's no politics.
That's another way to look at it
fine.
anyway.
So all that is there. Is that all from this day?
Well, Honorwell sues EcoBank 72 billion naira for damages after failed exparte. Crude oil price hits 4-year high after OPEC rebuffs Trump.
Yeah. President Trump has been saying, no, bring down the prices, bring down the prices. The next paper now is the Nation newspaper. Alleged voter cards deals, PDP chief held in Osun, Oyetola, we are vindicated. He was attacked, says Adeleke. So it's the back and forth. Convention venue unsettles PDP. Wike lashes aspirants opposing Port Harcourt. A lot of people are, a lot of the chieftains are not comfortable with Port Harcourt being the convention for the PDP.
Let me quickly speak about two stories. First, the headline on the Nation and the headline on the Punch. If you look at those two stories, in election year, even journalism tends to suffer because political views tend to become real news, which is really not so good. But on the question of the PDP taking its primaries to Port Harcourt or anywhere, the chairman of the convention is Ifeanyi Okowa. The party understands that where it needs to do its work thoroughly is in the southeast and the south-south. So if you oppose Port Harcourt, obviously you should be supporting maybe another Calabar or Delta or even the southeast because the party actually toured the southeast and the south-south. So those who are opposing Governor Wike because of his influence or because of perhaps his perceived support for a particular candidate, it's up to them. But the fact is that, you see, take it or leave it. 2019 elections will not be like the other ones we've had from 2015 and backward. These elections are going to be a major decider for Nigeria. And so a lot of interest is weighing down on it. Even what is playing out in Osun is thought to be a landmark ahead of next year. So I think there are so many eyes on 2019. The parties have the onus to give us a credible process. If the APC has decided that they're going to do direct primaries for that to choose who their president candidate is going to be, and they arrive at whoever wins peacefully, it should send a clear message to what the opposition is also going to do, because they can do less.
Of course, that's true. All right, that's the papers now. In sports, Modric wins 2018 FIFA Best Award, Best Player of the Year award. That's really interesting. Remember his outing at the World Cup.
A new breath of fresh air.
Yeah, a new breath of fresh air, exactly. Because it has been what I could call the duopoly of it's been between Ronaldo and Messi all the while.
Yeah.
Well, Cyril, thank you for coming, but we'll be keeping you for our next discussion now.